Hello and welcome to Who Is Best, a show where I, Claudine, take games that give you choices and rate those choices in a tier list. And today we'll be taking on what is probably the most difficult tier list to date. I'm talking about rating the Garbs in Lightening Returns Final Fantasy XIII. This is the third installment of the 13 series, and I can already hear the superfans tearing me apart in the comments. I want to make this clear from the onset. When I set out to make these lists, I never claimed that my tiers were definitive. Nothing can ever be definitive when it comes to games because there's always the variable of the player. These tier lists are simply a place to start. I spend a lot of time researching these bad boys and I simply present my findings. Oh, and some bonus lists on the side. Anyway, let's get down to business. There are 71 Garbs you can find in the game. Each will boost lightning stats and has slots for equipping important active and passive skills, as well as complements your overall schema. Oh right, schemas are your custom-built classes, which is a fusion of Garbs, weapons, accessories, adornments, shields, and abilities. If all this sounds confusing, then good. We're going to try to consider just the Garbs today, though their abilities to create game-breaking schemas cannot be ignored when rating these outfits overall. We're going to do something a little bit different as well. Each tier will not be in any particular order except for the top tier and God tier. Now, without further ado, I give you the tier. We're going to start this list off on a good note by talking about the only thing that we're all going to agree on, and that is that Astrolord is the worst Garb in the game, and there just isn't a contest. It has no open skill slots and is mostly a gimmick where the lower your HP falls, the stronger your spells get. Yeah, that's a terrible strategy. The last two Garbs on this tier is Pallas Athena and Celestial Body. You can only obtain Pallas Athena after gaining the Platinum Trophy, which is absolutely ridiculous. On top of that, the Garb's design is underwhelming and Heroic Guard, in practice, is useless. Celestial Body is only available in Japan and wasn't that great to begin with. Alright, that wraps up the tier. Let's talk about the low tier. As you can imagine, a game with so many Garbs is bound to have what we'll call filler. These are just novelties and are surpassed by so many other Garbs that we're just going to blaze through this list. Trigger warning, I'm sure you'll see some of your favorites. Mine are on here too. First is Art of War, which was a pre-order bonus. Next is Black Mage, which is obviously a magic DPS Garb that gets overshadowed by a lot of other magic DPS Garbs. Then we have Black Rose, Blue Mage, Carnival Crusher, Champagne Gold, and Cold Rebellion. Cosmic Crater is a disappointing and confusing DLC Garb. Then we have Crimson Bloom, Dangerous Blossom, Dance Macabre, Dark Orchid, Deja Vu, Dragon's Blood, and Duelist. Dust and Shadow gets the block ability and some decent resistance, while Heartstealer is an okayish evasion tank, while Hidden Justice is your average magic Garb. Next is Icy White, Ignition, Innocence, La Foldre, Lang Noir, La Automne, La Automne, and Lilitu. Loyal Servant is good for switching out schemas, but it will probably be replaced by Splendid Admiral pretty quick. The Moogle Queen schemata is interesting, but at the end of the day, just kinda stupid. Nocturne is as average a Garb as they come, and I can't believe I'm putting this in low tier. Nightmare, one of the coolest looking Garbs, is basic trash. Thanks, Square. Next we have Passion Rouge, Primavera, Providence, Red Mage, Sand Fox, and unfortunately School's Out as well. The next few on the list are some rather disappointing DLC Garbs. We have Shining Prince, Shogun, Sohei Savior, Tomb Raider, Utsusemi, and again, unfortunately, Sphere Hunter. How Square managed to screw that up, I don't even know. The shield it comes with is nice, but the Garb is basic and non-essential. Next, we have Stone and Sand, Sun and Bloom, Ultimatus, Urban Outlaw, Vigilance, Violet Twilight, Water Chorus, White Mage, Witching Hour, and Woodland Walker. The final Garb on the low tier is the Paladin, which comes with the awesome Heavy Guard ability, but is easily replaceable with Sacred Knight or Quiet Guardian. Whew! Now let's move to the mid tier, which functions similar to the low tier. These garbs aren't amazing, but they do stand out slightly in some ways. First, we have Candy Raver, which is a middle-of-the-road garb that can slightly boost attack with high HP. Shadow Trooper has the beatdown ability, which adds to a staggering strategy. By equipping a spirit, you can change beatdown to jump, which gives you a ton of raw power. Vengeance also has beatdown and is similar to Shadow Trooper. Purple Lightning is a great mage garb with incredible speed and stagger capabilities. Flower of Battle is a DLC garb that is used to save time and EP in-game using Metagard to heal. Of course, we also have the Midgard's Flower Girl garb, which is very similar to Flower of Battle. Intruder is built exclusively for switching schemas. If your ATB is low, it will cast Protect upon switching. Dragoon is another garb with beatdown that can be built into a staggering machine. Its damage output can rival Soldier First Class. Divergent is the absolute best healing garb out there. Its skill Life Regain will heal you if you are damaging an enemy with a debuff. Rhapsody and Rose and Siegfried are pretty devastating DPS garbs that are outclassed in late game. Helter Skelter complements a physical attacking build with its immense boost strength. Electronica is incredibly useful in early and mid game, but again falls off in late game. And finally, we have Dark Samurai, which again is a standard mid-tier candidate. Okay, we burned through the fodder. Let's get into the meat of this list with the top tier. First up is Soldier First Class, which can dish out some of the best damage in the game with Slayer, which gains a 2x multiplier to Heavy Slash's power. It's not as good as Soldier of Peace, but still very noteworthy. Splendid Admiral has Transform Faith and Bravery, which will trigger the buffs upon switching schemas. So paired with schemas that complement them, Splendid Admiral and Intruder can be perfect boss killers. Velvet Bouncer is one of the best physical attacking garbs for early and mid game. Its strength is raised by 10% by its auto ability, then Blitz raises it for even further, making it a garb that hits like a truck. Hunter of the Wild is one of the best early and mid game garbs with heavy slash ability. It doesn't stay as useful in late game, but can still hold its own. Bold Vanguard has great element resistance and effectiveness, as well as the ability Blitz. Amazon Warrior can break the damage cap while also delivering the fastest basic attacks with Speed Slash. It doesn't compete with Soldier of Peace, but still is a good stand-in since you can get it pretty easy. Dark Knight is another contender for best physical attacking garb in the game. Like the Amazon Warrior and Soldier of Peace, this garb can break the strength limit, while its ability Darkness is a better version of Blitz. Sacred Knight is an incredible physical tank that really only lacks magical resistance, but its skilled defensive strike increases the effectiveness of Heavy Guard and Light Guard. If you have the skills, this garb can negate almost all damage from every enemy in the game. I've read that many argue that Midnight Moth is one of the best garbs in Lightning Returns. I obviously don't agree, but it still is pretty awesome. With its 100% ATB start and increased spell damage, it can become one of your best mages. Equilibrium, Dark Muse, and Mist Wizard's upgraded versions have the highest starting ATB in the game and great passive skills to carry them into late game. Guardian Corpse and Knight of Etro are two of the most versatile garbs in the game with 4 open slots and the ability to take them in any direction you'd like. Plus, you just can't go wrong with these callbacks to previous games. Spira's Summoner is almost a must-have DLC. Its element skill is basically broken with a 9.8 times multiplier that will guarantee instant death to almost every enemy in the game. Martial Monk is another strength cap breaker with the skill Whirlwind Kick. If you can get your timing down, Whirlwind Kick is no joke. It has a plus 300% damage multiplier. The final garb of the top tier is the Mikote Dress. Aside from being one of the best looking garbs in the game, Mikote is your designated boss killer. Magic Slash gets a boost from both physical and magical debuffs up to 500%. On top of that, you have the Meta Guard ability that is just incredibly useful for your playthrough. The God tier. Alright, these next 3 Garbs are hands down the best in the game and are the optimal Garbs for your endgame schemas. First we have Cyber Jumpsuit, which is one of the best debuffers in the game and with the right equipment can absolutely destroy enemy stats and abilities. The only small downside is that Dispel can be highly situational. If it is built as either a physical or magical opposite to Quiet Guardian, these 2 classes make up a God tier duo. Speaking of Quiet Guardian, it is far superior to Cyber Jumpsuit when it comes to debuffs, though both can potentially have 100% physical or magical resistance. Quiet Guardian is just a little bit more versatile overall. Throw in Heavy Guard skill and you have a devastating Saboteur schema in the making. The final Garb on the list, and quite possibly one of the ugliest, is Soldier of Peace. Not sure what they were going with this design. Either way, there isn't a skill in this game that can hit harder than a fully maxed out Artemis arrow. With the right Garbs to support it, Soldier of Peace will destroy every single enemy in the game. Well, except for a Reshgal, but whatever. And that's my list. I have this sneaky suspicion that I forgot something somewhere, so let me know in the comments if I left any Garbs out. Also, let us know your ideal schemas and favorite outfits down there as well. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you all later. Bonus round, most fashionable lightnings. Number 10, Carnival Crusher. Number 9, Ignition. Number 8, the Moogle Queen. Number 7, Stone and Sand. Number 6, Shadow Trooper. Number 5, Purple Lightning. Number 4, Mist Wizard. Number 3, Violet Twilight. Number 2, Nightmare. And number 1, the Miko dress. Worst character in the game? Still Snow.